everybody, to Paramerican Radio. As always, I am your host, Chad Kalick, hanging out with my best friend, the rhythm to blues. He's the choice when you choose. He's the front page story on the front page news. How's that one? That was fairly rehearsed.
It rhymes.
Yeah, it's fairly rehearsed. I was trying to give you, something that really kind of say I'm a bad motherfucker,
Yeah.
Justin Holstein, as always, is in the house. And, of course, the purveyor of the door, the lid, the top of the pipe to the rabbit hole. The man who holds all the stories of the world, at least the most important ones. Stevie Tinder Zoberman.
It's like he's coming out ready to fight.
I know, man. That's how I feel. Every time I look at Steve, I just get that good feeling, I know you get your girlfriend's got to feel the same way. She's like, look at those little basset eyes. Yeah, a little.
You're going to make me fall in love with you, man.
I know, man. I'm going to be writing you a letter like I'm from World War II pretty soon. Pretty crazy stuff. Again, Steve, I realize that the world of the bizarre, the mysterious, and the unknown is your territory on this show, but I gotta point one out. Another one just happened last week in the continuance of what I believe is full-blown prep for what is soon to come, a real alien invasion, if you want to call it. I believe that is coming, and there are things happening every day, and we keep talking about this in the realm of UFOs. And one happened, I don't know if you even saw this on the news, it was about a week and a half ago, where supposedly a portal opened up just off the coast of Newport Beach. A guy was driving down to go surfing in the morning, and the footage of it is fucking mind-blowing. This was on the news. They already talked to the military. The military had no idea what it was. Another bizarro thing, what's weird, I've never seen that, just something stationary over the water, blasting a white light down to Earth below it.
And it couldn't have been a helicopter that was looking for someone?
They checked with the airport. And this is on the news. I saw this part on the news. The airport said, not one of ours. They immediately checked with down San Diego, the Air Force Base. They said, not one of ours.
Could it have been like a drug cartel or someone getting
a drug cartel?
Well, you mean a helicopter searching after a drug cartel?
No, just a helicopter. Like maybe there's like a shipment of drugs or something. I mean, I have no idea. I'm just trying to find an explanation.
Well, the thing is, it wasn't on any radar. It was not detected on any radar. That's what I mean when they got a hold of the LAX, talked to them. They said we didn't. They looked on the radar and they're like, we don't have anything on a radar. So if it was metallic, it would have shown up.
Yeah.
So
right.
I mean, they don't know what it was.
And generally, they jump on that stuff. As Chad and I found out a while back when we were flying a drone. There was LA helicopter police,
Oh, that was
circling,
fast, man. Yeah, we had just got our first drone, and I thought I was going to get arrested, is what I thought. But I was like, fuck it, if I get arrested, it'll be good web promo, So we took our drone up, and we literally flew it straight over the Santa Monica Pier, right above
the park.
Right above the park, right above the roller coaster. Okay, so we're in Santa Monica right now, and we're figuring out how we use our drone camera to shoot the Santa Monica Pier without any permit whatsoever. And a police station sitting directly on top of the fucking pier. So Justin is filming right now. So we're going to do this and plot this out because I would say there's a real good chance that I'm going to get arrested if they can catch us.
okay, I'm watching Chad flying this. I'm just trying to see if anybody's coming close or if anybody looks official, policeman or whatever. And out of the blue, here comes a police fucking helicopter coming around. And it's obviously there because of the drone, because it's banking slowly around the park where the drone's flying over. And in retrospect, they were trying to locate who's piloting this thing, and they called them in and said, hey, we got a drone flying over whatever. We don't know where it's coming from.
So, yeah, 2 cops came over to me and said that I am breaking a federal law. That it was an FAA violation. And drones cannot be flown within 5 miles of LAX, which means everything we shot yesterday was also illegal. So, yeah, she just said to basically watch my ass. It's a federal crime that I'm committing. And it wouldn't be state that I would be arrested by the feds if I do it again. And they said, do not think we're playing. Don't bring it back out. But yeah, they basically also said that within a year that we would have to license your drone and get a license plate, just like a vehicle.
I did license mine, actually.
Did you? Yeah, so it's already happening. Okay, yeah, okay. So, yeah, I mean, they're catching up, but yeah, there's still, the laws are pretty wide open on it, but anyways, another weird UFO thing just going down, And see, we get to see a lot down here because there are a lot of tests off that base that go on, and weird shit happens all the time. But, it doesn't make sense when they're, like, doing shit over populated areas. Right. You know what I mean? That's what's like, that doesn't make sense. So
yeah.
Anyways, it is time to pry back the lid like a sardine can, roll it back. I get in first. I put my hands down. I'm like, come on, little friend. Come on, little friend. Justin hops down. I put him in my back pocket, and we find you, Steve. And we say, we're in the rabbit hole. Give us the news.
All right. Well, this one comes out of Chile, and there was a house in Chile that was just... There was a violent haunting going on. So there was like glass breaking and mattresses and this and that. Okay, and so this was going on. The family got out of the house. They called the police, and the police officer, he arrived. He went inside, and he observed that there was broken windows and mattresses outside, and just he came to chaos. And when he was inside, he was questioning one of the owners, and something fell in the attic, and he said that when that happened, he felt that he was being attacked by something. He had like that feeling of the adrenaline you get, and after that started happening, he started calling upon the devil, telling him to get out of there. And when he said that, he felt like a knife was grazing his back. And he said his opinion was he thought because he was wearing a bulletproof vest that it protected him. But anyway, it doesn't start there. The family was being interviewed by a reporter afterwards about the incident. And the reporter said she suffered numerous paranormal quote-unquote attacks while she was interviewing the family. She said during the time of the conversation, a sack of potatoes caught on fire, then a vase was thrown to the floor, and later she said she was attacked by kitchen utensils. So anyway, this is a house that not just one family saying there's stuff going on, but the police, reporters.
It reminded me of the Chilean infield or something. Everybody's showing up and experiencing shit.
Right.
You know, it's you hear about these cases. My family's case was that way. You know, one of the most compelling things about it was everybody from Gordy Ruckman to the local police officer to 3 different priests
Families
to
that live
there. Previous families. I mean, you know, these are like the cases that I would, you know, put to skeptics and go, in order for this to be fake, like all of these people from these different walks of life with their own set of politics and their own set of religious beliefs, like they would have to somehow all meet in the middle on this. And that just never happens.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, badass case. Do they have any clue as to why the place would be so fucking haunted?
No. They, from what I read, they haven't. But
someone's playing around with something fucking bad.
Does it state where in Chile it happened?
It's yeah. 1 second. It starts with a C.
That doesn't mean anything to us, though. Like,
well, if somebody else wanted to reference and look it up, you know what I mean? It's like
that's true. So it's a southern city of Puerto Montt.
Well, you know what? I'll tell everybody, I'll do some research for the next podcast on that and see what I can find in that area, Puerto Montt. Maybe, who knows, maybe some historical battle there. So I don't know. But typically from, you know, my opinion, for whatever it's worth, you know, as I've said a million times, you can be an authority on the paranormal. There are no experts. But, you know, from being in cases where this much activity is going on, usually somebody within the house is playing with something they shouldn't be. Usually they're directly engaging whatever it is that's there in order to get that level of activity. I mean, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
I mean,
I want to see footage of it. If this was during the interview, like, was there not a camera there?
Right.
I'm guessing there wasn't. Otherwise, this would be like all over.
Well, that just begs a smart question. Is this a modern family? Is this a middle class family? Do they not have cell phones? Do they not have, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like what, you know?
They don't have cell phones. They have because they mentioned in the article they have a telephone line, a direct line, and they said that it got cut off. It just sounds like all hell is raining loose in this house. You know?
Yeah. And sometimes, you know, in real case scenarios, I mean, you know, if it's happening, you don't think of maybe recording it necessarily because you're so focused on believing it that this is actually happening, you know?
Right.
I don't know.
And from your experience, Chad, when a phenomenon like that occurs and is it more likely to occur when it's not being filmed? Because clearly, if something like this is going on, it's something that's more intelligent.
There's an old saying from the X-Files that rings true. It says the nature of the unknown is to remain unknown. It's the nature of it. You know, certain species that are, you know, when they discover a new species, they're like, how the fuck did we discover it? And you realize that this animal has like built-in ways, you know what I mean, to avoid being seen, you know? I think that spans true across the board. In every case that I've ever been in, it always seems like there is an awareness of the ghost, if we use that term, right, of where the camera's at. Because things just happen so many fucking times just off camera. You know what I mean? Or just like, and it's a consistent thing. It'd be different if, you know, it wasn't consistent. But it's consistently just like, how many blurry things have we seen?
Yeah.
You know, why are they all blurry? You know, I think,
but a lot of it too just goes back to like what you were saying. If somebody was in the forest around you in the dark with a BB gun and they were going to shoot you, you know, if I said film it when it happens, you know, you just don't know where they are. You wouldn't know where to point. You know, they're just...
No, I agree. Yeah. So I mean, I think it's partly that, but in this case where like shit's happening nonstop, I think they have a great chance at capturing that. I mean, the reason Powell was able to capture no face and the lights flashing is shit was going on there constantly, all the time for 2 years, and they were able to, you know, manage 30 seconds of compelling footage. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I think there's an awareness. I think its nature is to remain unknown and unseen. So, yeah. What else you got, man?
All right, this next one is Slovakian researchers, along with colleagues from NASA, are working on creating an invisibility cloak. A cloak that actually, not something that hides, but actually creates invisibility. And the way that they're trying to do so is using the magnetic field. Mm-hmm. And basically, what they say is that on Earth, the magnetic field influences every man, but in space, it doesn't. So what they're trying to do is recreate how a magnetic field would work in space, basically. Because in space, the magnetic field is invisible. And they say they could do it in principle, but it's just not, but nothing's perfected yet.
So on paper, it looks good.
Pretty much.
You know what I mean? But they
exactly.
have to figure it out.
Yeah, like the idea of it. So the
funny thing is they have something similar already. They have cloaking things where you can look straight fucking through somebody.
Right, exactly.
But that's a little bit different than straight invisibility.
Exactly.
You know
Actually, I'd heard that and I think it was, I don't know if it was, it was with electromagnetism that...
I thought it was fiber optics, the one I saw.
That it's not so much that it is invisible as they can literally make it not exist by all practical purposes. Meaning if it's surrounded with this magnetic field that actually, it's not that you just don't see it. You can't measure it in any sense or form or way.
You're talking about like Harry Potter type shit, though, yeah. Like you throw the blanket on you and you're like, whoosh, you're gone. You know what I mean? Yeah. Have you guys seen the footage of the military dude that's wearing the shit and runs in front of the tank?
Yeah, it's fiber optic, I believe.
It looks like, you talked a long time ago, it looks like Predator almost. You know what I mean? Like in the movie Predator, the way it moves, you could see it's there because the image is still bending in places.
Right.
But for all intents and purposes, you can see through it. Yeah, that'd be fucking... Wow. Especially because the mind does this thing where your mind pre-processes imagery as it comes closer to you. A great example was there's an experiment they did on Jackass once where at the bottom of these stairs, it was just open the door, Justin and Steve, and you run down the stairs. I think they have it here. And there's this brick wall, right? And they take Wee Man and they just paint him the color of the brick wall and just literally he just stands right in front of it. And time after time after time after time, they get to the bottom of the stairs and he goes, they lose their fucking mind. Because the mind is pre-processing that imagery. And it's just saying, doesn't got to be a perfect match. Close enough. You know what I mean? And that's why people get, people clip people and hit them all the time at crosswalks. Yeah. Because they don't got to be on the sidewalk for your mind to perceive them as the sidewalk. They just got to be close enough where your mind says, they're out of the way. But no, they're not. And that's why... Since the dawn of time, getting clipped on a walking thing has always happened. And it's a fundamental flaw of the mind. That's why I watched this whole fucking thing about it, that your mind does not process things, especially in speed and motion, in perfection, but rather generalities. So you don't got to be on the sidewalk. You got to be close enough where my mind says, you'll be good. And if someone's slower than what your mind's anticipating, you're going to fucking hit them. Yeah. So it happens all the time, you know? It was actually it's called Beyond Science's video. That was the whole thing about it. And they did several things like that to show the flaw of the mind doing that and just the pre-processing of information. That you just got to be, I want to say it was like 70% of the information has to be there for your mind to paint the rest of the picture.
Wow, that's a lot.
But that is honestly why you ever wondered why they have like on walkways. There's the walkway, there's a crosswalk, but at the end of the crosswalk, there's always like a painted yellow area that comes out, right?
Oh, right.
It's because your mind sees the red and the yellow, so because it inaccurately puts them faster than they will be, it accurately or close enough can tell when they're inside the red or the yellow. But if you take away the red or the yellow, you have like 30% more people get clipped. Because they just, mind says they're good, and they're on the sidewalk and they're not. You know?
Yeah.
It's pretty interesting. So, well, that'll be dope, dude. I mean, could you imagine going to like full war with that? Straight up invisible. You know what I mean? Like you could like literally walk in the Taliban shit at their table and be like,
I wonder if when it gets to that point, though, would everyone that works in military bases be wearing these contacts that would be able to see?
Yeah,
maybe not even contacts, but maybe they would be able to perceive through a device of magnetic bend in fields.
That's the whole part 2 technology. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
First create it, and then how do we use it to only our benefit? You know what I mean? And create the alternate technology to detect it. Yeah, that's
dude. Because that video, that tanker, that person running invisible. I mean. Listen, if you're some person who lived in Iraq and you saw that, you would think...
You would think the devil came to life. Right. You would think you saw a ghost. Right. You'd be like, what the fuck? Yeah.
Yeah, that's scary,
you think how terrifying that... Oh, dude, yeah. If we were part of an army and we're just chilling and we just saw that walk across the street, we'd be like...
We give up.
I'm out. Yeah. Hanging it out.
What do you want? Because I
can't fight that. No fucking way. You know what I mean? Yeah. That shit could be sitting right down next to me with a gun to my head. I wouldn't know. You know what I mean?
So why aren't they using that in combat right now?
No, they are.
Oh, they are?
Oh, yeah.
They really are?
Yeah, we study use it all the time now.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't
There's interviews online of guys talking about how effective it is and how they use it in Iraq. And yeah, definitely. Especially on house raids and shit. There was one guy talking about he was able to search multiple houses without anybody even knowing. Like they'd be in the house eating dinner. And he was able to just move out throughout the house, check shit out, and just
But how do like people's psyches not...
You just saw this, bro. 70% is all they needed to walk by Wingman like he's a wall.
Right.
You know,
that's so creepy.
Remember, your mind always focuses on what's important, and it actively eliminates what's not.
Right.
That's what a daydream is, right? When you get caught in a thought that's so important, your subconscious takes over, automation takes over, the same path home takes over, and your mind actively eliminates, not even shuts off, eliminates. Like, because I was always fascinated that when you would, whenever I would daydream, I would lose sound. You get home, it's like sound disappeared. It's like you didn't hear anything for the last 10 minutes because you didn't. I mean, it like shut off the world, you know? So, if you don't know it's there, oh, fuck. Yeah, you can, I mean, look, people do it uncloaked. You know what I mean? Like the best thieves in the world can get in the house and snoop around the whole fucker of people in it uncloaked. Now give them a cloak. You know what I mean? So that's badass, man. What else you got, man?
All right, this next one is, so there was this planet that was, this rogue planet that was discovered in 2012. And rogue planet just generally means that a planet that is not within like a solar system.
I think I've heard about this. It was first in a group. And now it's since left the group?
No. It was just
another one. Okay,
well, this was really exciting because it's the closest one we've ever found. It's 100 million.
100 million light years away.
No, 100 light years away. Sorry.
100 light years away.
Yeah, which is, I mean, still really far, but it's the closest one we've ever found. Right. And now they've just been studying it, and basically scientists have come down to either that it has really, really, really low gravity, or it's solid metal object.
Metallic.
Solid metallic object.
This is the same story we're talking about. Yeah, it was discovered in 2012, and what's really weird about it is when it was first discovered, it was discovered amidst a bunch of planets that were moving independently. But since 2012... it has now left that series of planets, and same thing. And let me guess. This is the same one. It is bigger. It's not as big as a dwarf. They thought at first it could have been a brown dwarf, but it's like 3 times or no, it's like 13 times bigger than Jupiter.
Yeah.
But it's too small to be a brown dwarf. Yeah, same one.
Yeah, that is.
So and now this thing has. Yeah, it was moving with there were a bunch of planets they thought that were rogue, meaning that they were in a solar system at some point and got launched out of it. So they're moving independently through space of all things. Well, they found that this one he's talking about left the group now. And now it's even closer. And they said that it was metallic. It has no gravity. And then it's highly metallic. So, and dude, it's fucking bigger than fucking Jupiter. So they were saying the theories was that this could be the real life fucking Death Star, like an actual planet that was built, which goes back to the moon theory.
Right.
You know what I mean? The moon being, if you look at the moon, it's built out of everything that you would have on your exoskeleton, if you want to call that, for space travel.
Right.
It's titanium,
Right.
You know what I mean?
And like when people think of this stuff too, they would look and go, how are you going to build something as big as Jupiter out of metal? Because they think about it, people, actually with hammers and nails and stuff, right? They don't consider the fact that today we have the ability to program at a gene level, I think it's in salt water, to create batteries. Basically, it's cells that will start creating batteries. They just, instead of telling this DNA to do the DNA, or instead of telling the cell to do this to split and to form a human or whatever, it's telling it to do this to create an alkaline and whatever, and then it basically is creating battery power at a subatomic level, right? So there's ways of programming things in nature to do this.
The biggest, this news, the biggest thing about it, again, I pointed out another thing in the news. Someone, there is a metallic rogue moving planet the size of here. You know what I mean? It's like every day this shit is coming out in the news.
Yeah.
Every day. So I smell something coming, man. I smell something coming. So it is our break. When we come back, we're going to do current events. And we're going to get into a movie review. A recent film that I saw that was an absolute hilarious comedy, which I urge you all to see. We'll talk about that shortly, and we'll get to some more fan questions when we come back with more Paramerican Radio.
Paramerican Radio will be right back after this commercial break with even more dope-ass shit.
In a distant land where magic is as real as the rainbow, in a place where nature exceeds imagination, a paranormal investigative team led by a man named Craig Powell has captured something on film, something that will change the world. I have seen Sir No Face, and soon you will too.
And we are back with more Paramerican Radio. Stevie, let me know what's going on in the non-weird, non-bizarre, but ever so bizarre world of current events. What do you got for me?
The next Olympics, they're going to be in Tokyo 2020.
Indeed.
And they got this genius idea to do a role reversal of Fukushima. So they're going to be hosting baseball, which is the most popular sport in Japan, in Fukushima, to get rid of the state of disrepair that it's in right now. But, I mean, what do you think? First of all, do you remember that one news article we talked about them reading the highest radiation?
So they're going to play a baseball game in Fukushima.
Yep, with thousands and thousands of people.
Is this a real story? Are you sure?
Yeah, man.
Seriously, I need to do some research and see where this story came from. That sounds
CNN.
Fucking, you're kidding me.
Yeah, CNN.
So the Chinese are the Japanese.
Yeah.
The Japanese, I love the Japanese too. Japan, what the fuck are you doing? This is terrible. This is terrible. It's a terrible idea.
Yeah.
People are gonna get sicker than shit.
Well, you would think so. At least, I mean,
what if they didn't? If they didn't, you have to be like, what the fuck?
Well, I think their hopes are, by 2020, whatever's going on now is going to be over and done with.
But dude, I already told you, like where was the one in Russia that went down?
Yeah.
What was the name of Chernobyl? They just now are capping Chernobyl with like what looks like it's on wheels. It looks like the Seattle Dome. You know what I mean? And literally, it rolls out and then locks into the ground, and then it will finally be capped. And I was watching this online thing where they take people in there, but you have to sign your life away. You can go see it, and you can put the Geiger counter down, dude, and it's just still buzzing. Dude, this is Chernobyl we're talking about.
I had one of my friends went there. You can go on tours there, and you have to carry around a
Geiger counter.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And he said that they went to classrooms and they still have the papers on the desk of the kids doing homework, and bam.
You can
and
watch
just left.
videos online of people that do professional exploring for YouTube. They just go on vacations for YouTube. Yeah, there's this kid Josh that goes all these places, and I watched his video at Chernobyl. Dude, they have everything. We're talking about baby clothes, like fucking. They just left. They just bounced the fuck out. It's all still there.
That showed up Chernobyl too, and the Mothman Prophecies was on like I don't know a week ago, and I was looking on the internet, and Chernobyl is one of the locations where a lot of people saw the Mothman leading up to Chernobyl happening, is what was reported.
Yeah, I read about that too. Yeah.
Yeah, and let me just read you a quote that the Japanese president said regarding this. He said, "By hosting Olympic baseball and softball events, Fukushima will have a great platform to show the world the extent of its recovery since the disaster. It will also be a wonderful chance for us to show our gratitude towards those who assisted in the region's reconstruction. And I'm sure the people of Fukushima are also looking forward very much to seeing Olympic events hosted there."
Do they address safety issues at all in that?
No.
See, that would be the first and primary thing if they came out and said, "Listen, independent studies have shown that it's disseminated."
No, dude, this is fucking crazy. I mean, like, especially because there's 2 Vice documentaries on it, and there's a separate documentary I've seen. Those fucking radioactive cores. I told you this, right? The water washed out, they fell, and they are just drilling into the fucking earth. They have no way to cool them down. They have no way to fucking retrieve them. And literally, they were asking the guys, they're going, well, how far will it burn? He's like, middle of the earth? I mean, nothing could stop it, you know? I mean, so they're in a world of shit. A world of shit over there. So that's mind-blowing to me. Mind-blowing. It's so weird how governments at times just like fix it by like looking, just saying fucking forget it. Like it's not real. Like, for example, you know, I watched Deepwater Horizon. Do you guys, like, it's people call it a conspiracy. It's not a fucking conspiracy. That fucking thing is still pummeling oil out of it.
Oh, really?
Oh, fuck yeah. Down in Louisiana, like, almost all their shrimp industry's done. 6 months ago, I saw an updated Vice documentary on it where the guy's, like, literally takes him out on a boat. And the oil slick is for fucking miles. And then you could see other boats, and all they're doing is they're dumping shit on top of it that literally makes it sink 5 feet. The oil just sinks 5 feet below the water, so you can't see it. That's all it does. And it curds up into a ball, and then ends up falling to the bottom of the ocean. But it's still leaking. The fucking thing is still leaking.
Wow.
Yeah. You know what I mean? And it's just like... And that's what this guy's down there. Like he's losing his family. They've been shrimpers forever, and you know he's like fucking decimated. You know, and he goes. And the worst part about it is, man, he was like, the people that are pulling the shrimp out of here. He's like, these shrimp are fucking corrupted. You know what I mean? He was like, there's only like a small percentage of shrimp they pull that actually sell because they're moral and ethical, and it comes from an area that's down the coast, that's an inlet channel that didn't get oil on it. But he was like, yeah, and they did tests on the fish and shit, and they had crazy levels of mercury and crazy levels of all kinds of shit in them. Being sold right now in Louisiana, all through there, yeah. And they're just like, fucking do whatever.
You know, I mean, that's just one case of oil, too. I mean, I don't know if you've seen the fracking documentary on HBO and
yes,
stuff.
Of course. Insane.
To me, at some point, you realize, like, at what point is money
profit? Let's see. Is this smart? Let's go to the fucking plates of, you know what I mean? Like, let's go to the fault lines of America and start setting off bombs on them. You know, like, Oklahoma went from having 3 earthquakes a year to 1,000. What? You know what I mean? And no one's, fuck it. Keep doing it.
It's more so just the fact that these are our waterways, our future waterways and rivers, and people, you know, can light their water on fire in some of these instances. It's
okay. So there's a small light at the end of the tunnel, I guess, then. Okay. I'll just go with my next story. There's this new sponge that... I mean, it's been created and it's been tested. It's called the Oleo sponge, and it cleans up oil spills effectively, and it's reusable. And, quote, what they said here is that, unlike other cleanup methods, the Argonne National Laboratory says the sponge can scrub the entire water column. We're very well aware of how hard it is to clean up oil spills, but...
A sponge. Now, you do know the sponge is also a living creature, right?
Right. No.
So this is not a living creature. This is a synthetically made.
Right. Exactly. It has like a thin layer of metal over it, and
so they've created something now to address this fundamentally and to actually do it.
Yeah, you can go on YouTube and search Argon News Oleo Sponge, OLEO, and they have videos.
It's like Sham-Wow.
Pretty much Sham-Wow for oil spills.
That guy's dead now, right?
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, Sham-Wow for oil spills. Yeah. Fuck yeah, Oleo. Clean up that shit. Yeah, thank God. But, at the same time, you can only use so many Sham-Wows to clean up the fucking Pacific. You need about 10 billion of them to do it,
Why not, man?
That probably works great, and, in your backyard for your little shit that you got to clean up, but...
No, they're making large scale size, to clean up for ocean.
At least somebody's trying to do something.
Right.
Versus this fucking... All these documentaries that I watched about, they have the name of this chemical that they're using. And this chemical, not only does it fucking just lower it in the water, you can't see it, the breeze of it is giving people... You should see the photos of it, Justin. They're giving people massive fucking reactions, blisters, massively red, thick, swollen throats and shit that people have. And they're interviewing doctors, and doctors are going... Oh, we're seeing this on a massive scale. Like at least 70% of the people through our door are getting fucked up by this chemical. And they're like, are you certain it's directly from this chemical? And he's like, directly. He's like, it's all the same symptoms. It's all from the same people. Anybody that's downwind of where this chemical is dumped, they're getting it. Children are getting it. In fact, one of the filmmakers, his wife went out on a boat with a guy that was fully covered up, and she didn't take his advice to wear the shit, and went out. By the time she got back, she was coughing. A week later, she was hospitalized, and she had horrific fucking damage to her throat and her lungs, and had to be fucking put on. It was crazy. All kinds of crazy shit had to be done to her, and now she had permanent lung damage. It wasn't enough where she's not breathing, but it was enough where she coughs now and doesn't breathe like she used to, and it was all from this chemical. And they know this chemical does this, our government knows it, and and in other countries it's been made illegal for this reason.
Yeah.
And this is a fact. It's illegal here in America too. BP just said fuck it, we'll pay the fine. So they use it anyways. Wow. Yeah, they said fuck it. Because it's the only one out of all the things that they treat the oil with that lowers it 5 feet and gets it out of the public eye. Was it the Rothschild guy who said, I care not who makes the rules, I care... Right. Yeah, who has the money. You know what I mean? That's what matters, Yeah, and that's the problem with these. Yeah, this chemical's illegal, and BP said, fuck it. That's what we're going to use. Right. We'll pay the fines, whatever. Isn't it amazing that nobody from BP is doing time for that? You can kill an entire fucking ecosystem and no one's doing time. Ross Ulbricht made a fucking website that the public used for drug trafficking. He's doing life. BP killed a fucking ecosystem, which goes to what you're saying. Nobody, nothing.
I think it's just when it's that big, people don't know. They look and go, I don't know, maybe it killed. What's an ecosystem? That's something nerds talk about.
Shit sounds small. Yeah, I know. Craziness. Stevie, what else you got?
The former actor he was a Power Ranger. Have you heard about this one?
No.
So he played, I think he played in a couple different Power Rangers, but he was one of the dudes. His name is Ricardo Medina, and in 2015, he got into an argument with his roommate over his girlfriend parking her car outside of the apartment. Okay. And the argument escalated so far up that his roommate broke into this Medina's room, and Medina took out a sword and killed him. This happened in 2015, and authorities waited an entire year to charge him, right? And not only that, but he took a plea deal for 6 years for killing somebody.
Wow.
And the reason I wanted to bring this up was because, I mean, you have unarmed black men being shot left and right, but this, actor, I don't know if he was wealthy, but I'm sure, to get a plea deal like that, 6 years.
Now, what country was this in?
Oh, I think this is even in California.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, America for sure. I'm not sure what state. Oh, L.A.
Wow.
Yeah. Right here.
I knew nothing about this. Wow. So this guy fucking killed somebody.
Yeah, and all these news journalists are asking why do you take a year to even bring charges against him, and they're unexplained.
Well, I don't know. Did you see the new series at all on OJ? It won all the awards.
Yeah.
No. It was the same kind of paradox going on there, where all these cops, everybody, they'd seen him, they were big fans of his and stuff, Yeah. So it created this conflict where he was getting away with a lot of shit that
this happens all the time.
Yeah.
One of the perfect stories to correlate with it, Vince Neil from Motley Crue hopped in his Lamborghini. Drove it. They some say in excess of 120 miles an hour down Sunset, drunker than shit.
Wow.
Smashed in and killed a pregnant woman and got no days in prison.
No days?
None.
That's insane. So I mean, I guess the moral of the story is become an actor, become rich, and get away with murder.
No, the law is definitely purchasable.
That's crazy.
The law's purchasable. Yeah, if you got enough fucking money. Unless it's so fucking, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah. In Vince Neil's case, basically, the judge he ran a red light, he did, but the judge was able to basically, the lawyers were able to basically argue that it was a complete accident, that it was not like anything that he was,
But if he ran the red light, it would be like manslaughter.
You're asking the question everybody asked. You know what I mean? How the hell did he get out of this? Yeah. He didn't get anything. He killed the pregnant one. Yeah.
We need to bring Ilya back.
Yeah, basically that's what they argued is that, and argued it down, got a plea, spent something like $11 million, and his record company helped foot that bill too.
Oh, wait, $11 million they spent?
Yeah, on his defense.
Wow.
Yeah. And the record company helped foot that bill. Now, think about that tag. OJ must have been fucking 20 years after that, right? OJ spent $20 million on his defense.
Wow.
So Vince Neil spent, with inflation, over that. Well over that. You know
That's
what I mean?
insane.
Yeah, crazy. So,
jeez.
To get the fuck out. It's all purchasable, man. And that sucks, because if you're the fucking poor guy you're fucked. You know what I mean? You're fucked so hard. Yeah. That's fucking crazy. Yeah, I'm going to have to read more about the story and see why this guy got only 6 years.
6 years, then probably half the time, that he's actually going to spend serving? That's insane.
Yeah.
Well, it's federal, so federal you got to do 80%.
But he didn't get charged with murder. He pleaded to manslaughter. Is that's still federal?
Yeah, it's a felony.
Okay.
So it's a federal. So he'll do 80% of that, but that's 4 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For murdering somebody. And
over a parking spot.
He'll be either, locked up and probably in medium security but he won't be out with the general public and shit because he's famous.
Right.
So he'll have a whole different, you know what I mean? He won't have to worry about the ass rapings and all that shit, you know what I mean? Not that I'm saying it's nice in prison, but, it'd be nice to go to prison and know I don't got to worry about that shit. All I got to do is learn how to cope with fucking loneliness, you know what I mean? And not have to look over your shoulder to fucking,
Yeah.
Which Power Ranger was he, does it say? Was he the red Power Ranger?
He was the red, but he wasn't the original red. He was one of the red from a newer series. And then they had an even newer version. But he's been on shows like ER and, he's a relatively recognizable face.
It's just funny because when Jake, young Juice, my kid, was little, he loved the Power Rangers and he had the red outfit, and he used to go out in the front and he would have a show and he'd charge anybody going by if they wanted to watch. He was going to charge $5.
Yeah, he told me about this.
And I was like, yeah. And I sat there working on the computer and I remember looking out and he had got Livy, my daughter, out there with him in a costume. And I thought, Oh, you know what? This just looks bad. I thought it was just like an innocent, like like a lemonade stand, and that's fine. But no, it almost looks like I would be having to okay this, like them doing a show in outfits and you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think the biggest irony of all this is like one of the Power Rangers like main weapons is like a sword, and this dude used the training from what he learned on set to kill a guy. That is just. I mean, it's dark irony for sure.
It's hilarious. Yeah. And that shit about your kids way hilarious. That's fucking. The first time he told me that story, I was like, "What did they do?" He's like, "Yeah, they were putting on a play." I'm like, "What the fuck?" But your kid was an entrepreneur from a young age. I like that.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah, it's true.
He's totally fucking
thinking outside the box.
Thinking outside the box. Yeah, moving the goalposts. Moving the goalposts. Love it. All right, well, that brings us to our movie review. This is going to be one of the shorter movie reviews, only because the premise of this film is nothing new. It's been done a million times. The film is called Why Him? This is James Franco, Bryan Cranston, who I love, and Zoe, new act. Well, I've seen her in a couple things. Her name is Zoe Deutsch. Basically, it's a very, very simple premised film. It's... what's the one? Oh, God. Meet the Fockers. You know, Meet the Parents. Same kind of thing. Mm-hmm. But what it is Bryan Cranston and his wife, who's an actress from Will and Grace, they have a paper mill company. And their daughter is going to be supposed to be the heir to this. And she's off at, I believe it's like Stanford or something. Some preppy California college. And... their parents are coming out to visit her, and as they're coming out, they're slowly learning that she has this boyfriend. And turns out he's a multi-bazillionaire worth like $300 million because he made a couple app video games that just took the fuck off. And this is the character of Franco. And Franco's character is just, the guy cannot tell a lie. Just the most honest fucking human being at all times. And he's this very, like, surferish, kind of get the fuck out of here, like, type of guy.
Always has his shirt off, right?
Always has his shirt off, yeah. He wanted to get a picture of the family. You see in the commercial, it's very funny. It's longer in the movie, but, like, so he took the photo to get a picture of the family on his back. And it was a holiday photo, and he forgot to tell him to take Happy Holidays off, so that's like on his back. But he has this great assistant that's just like in the Pink Panther. When the Pink Panther back in the day, the guy would always attack him, and he'd always have to figure out how to get away from him and work on his shit. So they call it evasive parkour and all this stuff. But it's not. I wouldn't even try to retell the jokes because it's such organic comedy between Cranston and Franco that works so well. Funniest movie Franco's ever been in. Franco is fucking hilarious in this thing from start to finish. So funny, dude.
You just met him not too long ago, didn't you?
I did. Our partner and the executive producer of this show, Mr. Thomas Lee Bottom, is one of the producers, associate producer of 2 films of Franco's.
Wow. So
yeah, I got to go and meet James and see his movie. And when I met James, he was James is a 420 supporter, as you might imagine. Him and Rogan, they're kind of known as the Hollywood weed pack. And he was representing when I saw him. He was well medicated. But yeah, super nice guy. Could not be nicer. But in this movie, absolutely hilarious. And what I love about Franco, period, is nobody does more shit than that guy. He's a professor at NYU. I think he's the
most underrated actor, man.
Oh, he's awesome. Wow. But dude, not only that, he has art displays all the time. He directs movies all the time. He's in 5 new movies a fucking month that come out. He's a professor at NYU. He teaches a course on films and a course on documentaries. He's done so much shit. He's just involved in just fucking everything. And he stays busy. He's authored multiple books. He stays so busy. He's done multiple plays. He's on a soap opera. He was on a soap opera for a straight year. So a Guiding Light or whatever for like a straight year. Which is so weird. It's like, why? You know what I mean? But it's like, it takes me back to Saturday Night Live made fun of him one time on that skit. You ever see that? It was so funny. Like Franco, I'm sorry, I lied. That guy playing Franco. And first he comes on the news to be interviewed, and next thing you know, he's trying to take Seth's spot to give the news. And he's like, "No, I'm sorry, Frank. It's my job. It's my job." He's like, I just wanted to try." And he's like, "No." And he cuts. He's like, "You're good. Go. And he leaves the stage and he looks back up and he starts reading. And he goes, "And this James," and they come over and James is holding the sign, the cue cards. He's like, "I want to hold the cue cards." It's like, "Why do you do this?" "I don't know, man. I just like having jobs."
Yeah,
I saw that. I just like having jobs.
You know, the weirdest one to me is the teaching. I mean, you would think a university would go, this would be very disruptive. You know, people are around celebrities.
Well, Spike Lee's a professor there too. So James Franco, Spike Lee, NYU Film School. Yeah, it's like that's why you go there. It's like it's hard to get into. Once you're in, you're fucking in like Flynn. You know?
Wow. Yeah, I mean, I imagine just Franco, you know, on his couch at home, just smoking. Like, man, what can I be in next? What can I do next? You know?
He did this. I was reading this story about he did a New York art show called Rob Lowe High Low, and it was all his art, right? And it was performance art. And what he did is basically took Rob Lowe's movies. He's a Rob Lowe fan. Broke down scenes of them and then reshot them with his friends. Same scenes, and just reshot them with his friends, and then put them on like display. And then the rest of it was just his like wacky art. And I was reading, he was filming a show in England, and he got done filming like 1 a.m. He took a flight at 2 a.m., got back to New York, and they said it was in the basement of some warehouse where this Rob Lowe High Low was. And it got panned. I mean, art critics fucking destroyed him. And they got to the end and they said, but perhaps it was doomed from the beginning as it was no cooler, temperature-wise, than 110 degrees throughout the entire event, and which Franco was walking around with just fucking straight shorts and nothing else on at his art display, and people are showing up and shit, and they're asking about the heat, and he's like in the interview going, "I love it, man. This is when you can feel the world." He was like literally just in shorts and shit, like at his fucking own thing. Rob Lowe, High Low. Weird, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I love him as a guy. I mean, he just as a character, and you know, he's a great actor. But yeah, he's directing stuff. He's got a play. He's done Broadway, but he's doing another play here pretty soon. I mean, the guy doesn't fucking end. It just doesn't end with him. So, so why him? Basically, you know, yeah, the dad disapproves of the future son-in-law. The son-in-law is trying to win the dad over. Simple premise of a movie. Totally shot, sold, and made on the fact that this relationship is very funny between Cranston and him. And Cranston's, look, he's fantastic no matter what. He's fucking hilarious. And Cranston's really funny too. So, totally mindless film. You know, like I said, nothing deep about it. So it would be a perfect date film. You and your girl, Stevie, should totally check it out.
Is it in theaters?
I know it's out right now.
Oh,
but I mean,
great.
just to chill with your girl and watch a good show. Yeah. Laura and I watched it together. Fucking. We both were, bent over laughing.
Was it on
so
Netflix
funny.
or is this something you had to order?
It's on Netflix. It's on.
Oh, it is on Netflix.
No, take it back. No, it's for sale right now. It was like $3.99 to rent.
Okay.
Yeah, Redbox.
Yeah, right. So it's just fucking
Redbox.
awesome.
You still go to Redbox?
Yeah.
Well, it's a rent.
You don't go to Redbox?
DVD.
Yeah, but I don't think that we don't rent DVDs anymore.
Oh, really?
No.
Blu-ray.
Blu-ray? Really?
Oh, I
Yeah.
can see why though. Yeah, it's no way you can really see Blu-ray quality, right?
Yeah, my roommate and I every now and then go.
Wow. Huh.
Learn something every day, Stevie. Learn
Interesting.
every
I thought that
day.
was totally like phased out of even the millennial, you know, because it's phased out. I mean, Chad and I don't go get DVDs anymore. I would have.
All right, let's get to questions. Fan questions. We got 3 here. The first one is Violet from Jackson, Mississippi. Wants to know if we think, I'm sorry, let me read this again. Violet from Jackson, Mississippi wants to know, is it okay to take kids on a ghost hunt? I would not take my child on a ghost hunt, but it would depend on their age, I guess. That's a parental choice, you know what I mean?
It's almost like, is it okay for your kids to watch an R-rated movie? I guess if it's okay to you, it was, you know, stuff like that. I don't know. It's a choice of the parent, right? How are you raising your kids?
Yeah, I think, if you feel like your kids, look, I'm a believer in the paranormal, so, I mean, if my kid were aware and I felt like he was conscious of what he was doing or she was doing, sure, I don't have a fear of it. Okay, Blair from Brooklyn, New York says, Chad, I found and enjoyed your In a Crowded Room music as well as 35-inch Mutter. Any plans in the future? Would love to play music live in the future. I don't know how many. Yes, there are plans to do it. It'll probably be around the Black Sheep documentary slate whenever we kind of roll that out. Yeah, I love music. I love it more than anything. It's my favorite passion in the world, but not a lot of room for it these days. And Ben from Boulder wants to know from all of us, what record are we each currently listening to? I'm actually not listening to a record, but I'd say what I am listening to. It is the Rock Am Ring, that like European festival of Chris Cornell acoustic. He just fucking killed it, man. And there's this version of I Am the Highway that he plays that is amazing. And I've had that whole set on like repeat, you know. So I've been listening to Chris Cornell a lot lately. And some Audio Slave here and there. That's what I'm listening to right now. What are you listening to right now?
This could sound weird, dude, but like a lot lately when I'm driving any long distances, I will put on classical a lot. You know what? It's almost like, you know how like...
I don't think that sounds weird.
Well, the reason it's
relaxing, right?
Well, it's not just relaxing. It actually stimulates my brain to think about better and more extensive things. And you know what I mean? A lot of times it's almost like you're in a tunnel. I noticed when I'm listening to like a rock or whatever, I'm into that music or the feeling it gave you at a show or when you were younger or whatever. Yeah. But, you know, it's almost like Game of Thrones, that bigness. Like if you like to think outside of the box or whatever, it's something about old classical that really, I guess, stimulates that. I don't know.
It's ironic because I was listening to classical music last night to go to sleep.
Really?
I couldn't fall asleep. Yeah,
I don't listen to it all the time, but I've been a listener of classical music for 20 fucking years. I mean, not regularly, but like at least once every 5 months. You know what I mean? I'll have a couple days where I just straight listen to classical.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I love it. I mean, I played like piano for like 5-6 years growing up. Like I'm a huge fan. I just you know.
Wow. You can play piano?
I mean, I can play like Star Wars and like Lord of the Rings and all like the cool stuff that I can still remember.
I've always wanted to play piano, man. I don't know.
You know, I think it's one of the easier instruments to play because it's really just straightforward. Like with guitars, like these little strings and it's complicated.
You know, it's funny. I've never spent any time really on it. I've always wanted to too. It's one instrument I've always thought that's pretty cool to play. And they say if you play guitar, it's an easy transition, and it must be because my brother picked up piano like fucking nothing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I sat down, and a day later, he was playing shit, and I was like, "Whoa!" That's what he said. He goes, it's like playing guitar, and I got it in the sense that the guitar is this. And you know what I mean?
That's
so
why
you got your main, and you know what I mean, and your
that's why I understand like guitar aesthetics and you know all that. I just physically just can't play guitar.
Yeah,
it is similar.
Yeah, that's what a lot of good guitar players say. They say once it clicks and you get it, then it's like it just happens, you know.
Yeah.
But I can see it in the sense because you gotta have finger control. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you're playing
it's
guitar
the same
and stuff.
notes,
Yeah, same scale, right? Exactly. So cool. All right, everybody, that wraps it up. Thank you guys for the questions. Thank you guys for listening. You know, I checked our numbers again today, and they are still growing, man. Still growing. So for those of you out there, thank you for listening. As our slogan says, if you enjoy Paramerican Radio, tell somebody. And we'll keep making them as long as you keep watching and listening. Much love, everybody. Follow us on social media. Justin and Steve, say goodbye.
We out.
I was trying to think of something funny, but
dramatic pause. Yeah. Peace, everybody. We out.
Paramerican Radio. It's the end.